Let's jump into our first car review. In the driver's seat, it's this, the 2007 Honda S2000. Now, this vehicle was first seen in 1999. It was a 2000 year model, and it was here to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Honda. It's in the traditional S-car format, and this car is coming out next year in 2008 in a new trim level. It was first seen at this year's New York Auto Show, and it'll be the CR version. Dennis?
That's right, Nick. We're actually going to be talking about that model in the future, the Club Racer, but for now we're going to focus on the 2007 model we have in the studio. Now, the S2000 has been known for some very simple attributes. Very little weight with lots of high revving horsepower. Now, we'll talk about the interior and the small but useful trunk, but for now we're going to look at that gem under the hood.
Lifting the hood on the 2007 Honda S2000, you can see underneath a sports car engine, but this engine actually has heritage, and heritage as the International Engine of the Year for 5 years running in its first generation. Well, we've come a step further now, Dennis, right? This is the second generation.
You're right. 2.2 liters now versus the original 2 liter, and a little bit more trackable power down in the lower RPM range. The original motor Nick talked about had a lot of high RPM horsepower and almost non-existent torque. This motor is a little bit more drivable around town, but it's not just what's under the hood. That's aluminum, by the way. Now, when you're looking at the suspension and the drive of the car, that's what the experience is. Great handling, perfect balance, and lightweight and big horsepower makes one thing: fun. When talking about the styling of the S2000, Honda took a lot of classic sport roadster cues and put it into their own design. It's low to the ground, it's very sleek and very angular. It is the epitome of everything that a sports car is. Fun to drive, but yet very stylish. For myself, it could just be about maybe 10% bigger and be one of the best sports cars out there.
The one thing this car reminds me of when I look around the outside is a hyena. Now, they're very strong and muscular up front and have kind of a sleek back end. Well, this car's the same. It has large front wheel wells and fairly smooth, sleek back end. The twin exhausts are nice, and the exclusivity goes along with that shape. In fact, they sold 1 in Norway and 2 in Ireland. So if you live in those countries and you own one, you're special.
Moving to the interior of the S2000, we thought we'd bring Matt Peterson in, our production assistant for the TV show, to show who the car's not designed for. He's 6'4", 310 pounds, and even at 6'2", 240, I don't fit. The car is small in stature, and it's small, well, in interior design as well. Though it's roomy for the right size guy, this just proves who the car's not built for. Now that we're going to talk about the driver's seat, and Nick was nice enough to help me pry Matt out of this seat, you know, it is a cramped interior and there's nothing you can do about it. Small cars are built within a constraint of how much area they displace. Now, the controls fall easily at hand. It does have the bright red engine start button, and I think that's kind of a nice race car-esque touch, but really it's just a little cramped in here. You know, I'm a little taller than maybe the average driver, but I should be able to get my knees underneath the steering wheel when I'm driving. Does that take away from the experience on the road? Not really. Once you have the top down and you're out on the open road, heck, even Nick could have fun in this car.
So we got to play in the 2007 Honda S2000. Dennis, tell me how you feel about it. Give me those 2 ups and 1 down.
Well, the first one's going to be easy. It's the drive behind the wheel. Now, you've heard me complain about the size and the cramped interior, but really when you get the car on the open road, it has such a perfect balance. Everybody who buys a Honda buys it because though it's kind of a odorless, tasteless, soulless type of vehicle, this car is not like that from Honda. It has a tremendous amount of feedback from its Formula One roots and all the racing that Honda's done throughout the years. I mean, even one of our local dealers here in Portland, Parker Johnstone, will tell you Honda has a lot of background and a lot of racing history. This car shows that, and it shows it on the road. My other up would be the overall styling of the car. I love the sleek lines. I love the angular cuts in the fenders and in the rear, even though you called it a hyena in the back. And my downside would be easy. It's just too small for a guy my size. Does that take it out of the buyer's aspect of what they're going to shop it against? Maybe not, but I also fit in a Miata.
And let me tell you about my 2 ups and 1 down for this car. First of all, I'll touch on a couple of things that you've said. I actually feel that this car doesn't feel like a Honda at all. In fact, it's very hard to know what kind of make or model this car follows. It's a very perfect car that fits what they've tried to do with it. And they've created a sports car that's very plain and simple, and it has a great driving experience. They managed to hit that nail exactly on the head. My up for this car is the drive. My second up for this car is the way it handles on the road. In just the steering and acceleration, they're absolutely perfect. My downside for this car is the fact that it's not very well finished on the inside. The inside is dated, the inside is cramped. Now, even though I am not a very tall person and find it easy to get in and out and drive this car, I can imagine that my passenger or my luggage wouldn't be coming along with me.
The 2007 Honda S2000 comes standard with a 2.2-liter VTEC 4-cylinder and a 6-speed manual transmission. The base price is $34,250 with an as-tested price of $34,845. The city miles per gallon rating is 18 and the highway miles per gallon rating is 24.
Here are the guys that make miles around possible. The Russ Auto Group, Baxter Auto Parts, Northside Ford, Ray Reese Dealerships, 4-Wheel Parts Performance Center, Grand Prix Imports, and J. Lee's Auto Group. Thanks, guys.